If I could ask everyone to please stand, I'd now like to invite in our special guest, Ms. Pilar Jimenez, who's being escorted by United States Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant Sawyer. Thank you. All right, everybody, please be seated. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Welcome, everyone, to the grand opening of U.S. Citizenship and Naturalization Services Nashville Field Office. My name is Cindy Gomez, and I'm the District Director of the New Orleans District, and this district encompasses the states of Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Tennessee. The Nashville office was a vision of previous district directors and regional directors easily prior to 2007. Because of the growth of the immigrant population in the Nashville and Eastern Tennessee area, and the fact that the closest USCIS office for this jurisdiction was in Memphis, more than an 8-hour drive away for some of our applicants, Nashville was seen as the ideal location for a new field office in the district. Approximately 5 years ago, planning for an actual field office in Nashville became a reality. And in 2018, we opened to our first Nashville employees and began seeing applicants in May of 2018. Now we ask you to join us in this grand opening celebration. First, I would like to welcome and recognize a number of guests who accepted the invitation to join us in the celebration of our grand opening today. From Congress, we have with us congressional staffers from the following offices. We have with us today from Senator Bob Corker's office, Carolyn Diaz-Barriga; from Senator Lamar Alexander's office, Charlotte Jackson; from Chuck Fleischman's office, representative from District 3, we have Kaylee Russell; from District 4, Scott Desjardins' office, representative Kristen Topping; and from Jim Cooper's office, representative for District 5, we have John Wood. And Stephanie Scott from District 7, Marsha Blackburn's office. Hello. From the City of Nashville Mayor's office, we have with us Mayor David Briley and Vanessa Lazone, who's the Director of the Office of New Americans. I just want to say that the Mayor's office has continued to work closely with the district long before this office opened, and the HQ USCIS Office of Citizenship for many years in conducting outreach, participating in community relation outreach events, and welcoming new immigrants and citizens. Thank you, both of you. We also have with us today Pilar Jimenez, sister of the Medal of Honor recipient Lance Corporal Jose Francisco Jimenez, and she is here today to join us in our dedication of this naturalization ceremony room in honor of Lance Corporal Jimenez. Also joining us today are some of our partners from Homeland Security. We have with us from ICE, Homeland Security, from Enforcement and Removal Operations, Catherine Chargaloff. And from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, we have with us the Director of Field Operations, Stephen Stavinoha. And from New Orleans, Area Port Director Pat McCummer from Memphis, right? And Port Director Mark Triner from Nashville. Welcome, all of you. From the GSA, we have with us Robert Cootie, Property Manager, Center Director for Tennessee and Kentucky, and Daryl Hackworth, Building Management Specialist, Nashville, Tennessee. Daryl's been instrumental in getting this operation off the ground. From our community partners, we have Barry Frager, representing the Federal Bar Association. And from our community, other community partners from the International Center for Empowerment, Nashville International Center for Empowerment, we have Parvez Moishin. And from the Salahuddin Center of Nashville, we have with us Nazad Harami. From U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, we are so honored to welcome Francis Cisna, the Director of USCIS, Robert Law, the Senior Advisor to the Director, Mark Dolan, the Regional Director from Southeast Region, Stephen DeVries, the Project Manager, HQ Facilities, USCIS, and Sharon Scheidhauer, the Public Affairs Officer from Southeast Region. We also have with us from the Memphis Field Office Director Deshauna Williams. And from the New Orleans District, District Congressional Lead, Terry Jones, Chief of Staff Jim Wasson, and Ann Hackett, Community Relations Officer. Most importantly, we welcome the 31 USCIS employees of the Nashville Field Office who were also able to join us today. Before I turn this over to Danny Andrade, Field Office Director of the Nashville office, I just want to add that Danny has been the Field Office Director here since October 2017. With interview panel members and teams from throughout the nation, he has had the unique opportunity to personally select each and every employee who works in the Nashville office and build this office from the ground up. It is my pleasure to introduce Danny Andrade as the Master of Ceremonies for this grand event. Thank you.
Thank you, District Director Gomez, and thanks to your leadership in assisting to get Nashville up and running. Please know that your support for Nashville Field Office means a lot to me personally, as well as the staff. I would once again like to invite everybody to stand to join us in the National Anthem, which is being performed by Christopher Kazi, one of the supervisors here in Nashville. Please be seated. Thank you, Chris. I would now like to invite to the podium Mr. Daryl Hackworth from General Services Administration.
Good morning, everybody. It's been a long time coming. On behalf of the GSA, our Region 4 Administrator, Mr. Brian Stern, our Acting Regional Commissioner, Mr. John Dennis, and our Tennessee and Kentucky PMC Director, Robert Cootie, I'd like to thank you all for this opportunity that you've given me to say a few words on this building and the project team within USCIS that I had the privilege to work with and consult with over the course of this building. Every page is getting caught together here. As you know, no speaker gets up here without their crib notes. From its inception to its final occupancy. As you may be aware, the Nashville real estate market is growing at a rapid rate, and finding sustainable buildings for the leases for the federal agencies is becoming much more harder as we go through each year. This is a task on a daily basis, but fortunately, with the efforts of both the GSA and the USCIS staff, this site was found and a partnership was started to convert, add, and design the first ever USCIS building of this type in Middle Tennessee. From the onset of this project, it was very obvious that USCIS had a very knowledgeable and involved design and project management staff. Over the course of this project, it was a pleasure and a very rare opportunity to work with such a highly skilled and knowledgeable and motivated staff and personnel. As the CO, which is our contracting officer on the project, has stated several times, working with a team of personnel so knowledgeable in their needs, tasks, and technical skills made this a very pleasant project for GSA to undertake on behalf of one of its partners. I would like to recognize one member of the USCIS team in particular, Mr. Stephen DeVries, project manager from USCIS from Vermont Space Management Branch. His ability to work with me and provide input and guidance from the standpoint of the agency's needs and must-have items, his knowledge and understanding of my role as the GSA PM on this project, and his ability to interact in a positive manner with the contracting officer, lessor, and the contractor on a last-minute and sometimes daily basis was paramount to the success of this building and the final results that you see here today. As with all new buildings and environmental systems, we are still working out some small bugs, but once these things are resolved, I look forward to a happy and successful partnership between GSA, the USCIS, here in Middle Tennessee, and the Nashville field office. Again, thank you for this opportunity to say a few words at this wonderful event. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Mr. Hackworth, and thank you for your hard work to get us here and for your continued support as we move forward. I would now like to invite to the podium Mr. David Briley, Mayor of Nashville.
Well, thank you very much for having me here today, and let me start by thanking Francis Cisna, the Director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service, for being here today, Mark Dolan as well, and Cindy Gomez and Danny Andrade as well for welcoming me here today. It is 2007 is early, but not as early as this started. It's been probably 20 years or longer that Nashville has wanted to have this office here, because for the last 20 years or so, we have seen some incredible changes in our community. And although we love Memphis, it's our sister city in many respects, it is 3 hours away, and it means a day's trip, really, there and back, and plus waiting, and certainly an inconvenience for people in Middle Tennessee and in East Tennessee. So we're incredibly excited in the city of Nashville to have this office open here. Nashville is a diverse place these days. We're about 12% foreign born in Nashville, where when I grew up here back in the 60s and 70s, I'm guessing we were 0.0001% foreign born. We have changed radically in that respect in my lifetime. And it's all good. It's made us a much more diverse, energetic place, and we are going to be, as you can tell if you follow the news, one of the country's leading cities in the century to come. I'm convinced of that. We're working already in Nashville to try and get more of our friends and neighbors here engaged on immigration. So one of the things we're doing is working with Turk to make sure that the 14,000 people in Davidson County, 14,000 people here are permanent resident aliens but are not pursuing their citizenship. 14,000. That's 14,000 people who can't fully engage with their government. It's 14,000 people who can't fully fulfill their own potential. So we're going to work hard to make sure that we keep you busy here with those 14,000 people. I hope you're ready for it. Are you ready? You're ready? All right. Yeah. Not all in 1 year, 1 month, or 1 day. We're going to work on it. We're also working with our library, and our library has a New Americans Corner, where we are working with USCIS to make sure that our friends and neighbors who are New Americans understand how they can become fully enmeshed in our society, fully become citizens. The library also offers English as a second language, because we know that's an important part of getting fully integrated as an American citizen. And so Normally at an event like this, I would say something in Spanish because one of the most important things to me in my life was the year I spent traveling in Latin America, and I certainly have an appreciation of how important it is that we understand each other and that we work together to build a stronger community. This is such an important part of that for our city. So I just want to say thank you very much for finding the resources in a resource-drained environment to come to Nashville and do what's important to this community. I didn't know this until just, I guess, last night when I started looking at the briefing book, but frankly, the most important thing we probably are here to do is to honor the life and sacrifice of Lance Corporal Jose Francisco Jimenez. And he gave his life to protect our freedoms 50 years ago, just about. And this room will be named in his honor. So I don't know if that's a tradition with every office, but that is an incredibly important thing for us to do. Although he was born in Mexico and is buried there, he certainly served this country well, and we all should be thankful for him. And although he was awarded the Medal of Honor posthumously, I think it's great that our city, that the city of Nashville, will be honoring him going forward. I have not had a chance to speak with Pilar, but or Natividad, is she here as well? No, he's not. He's not here. And but I thank you both very much for being here to honor him and his service to our city, our state, and our country. So again, thank you very much for finding a way to open this office here. I know that John Wood from Congressman Cooper's office is going to take full advantage of it because I have sent many a person to him over the years. I'm sure you all, that was one name that rang true for everybody in the room, John Wood.
Because I don't have anything else to do.
That is right, that is right.
I have veterans.
So, at any rate, to everybody who's coming here to work, welcome to Nashville. It's a great day for the city. For all of those people who are not here, who worked hard over the past decades to get this office open, who lobbied and advocated and pushed, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for everything you did to get this done. And thanks to everybody in Washington and in all of our congressional offices to get this done for our city. It's important. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Briley. The mayor's office plays a key role in welcoming new Americans to Nashville, and we appreciate the support your office has shown to USCIS. It is my distinct honor to now welcome to the podium Ms. Pilar Jimenez. As you have heard, Ms. Jimenez is the sister of Medal of Honor recipient Lance Corporal Jose Francisco Jimenez.
Well, good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to thank everybody and on behalf of my family for this great honor you have bestowed upon my brother. And excuse me, I'm not really good at speech making. That was one of my biggest fears in school. So I'll try my best. My name's Pilar Jimenez, and my brother was Jose Francisco Jimenez, but we called him Pancho. And my brother, he was born on March 20th, 1946 in Mexico City. And I really can't tell you too much about him because in reality, I didn't even know I had a brother. I came to the United States with my mom when I was 2.5 years old. My mom had worked at that time with Rafael Reyes Espíndola, and he was the Mexican consul at that time. And later on, my mom worked with Mr. and Mrs. Herb Lincoln and Linder, and I think it was through them that my mom was able to get her green card and mine. And then later, we got a job, or my mom got a job as housekeeper over at Red Rock for a family, Mr. and Mrs. Kinney and Mr. and Mrs. Wallachy, at a ranch called Laosa Livestock Company. There, they found out that my mom had a son back in Mexico. So they said he should be here and she should bring him over here. So thanks to those two families, my brother was able to come. back then it seemed like it was so easy to come to the United States. All that was needed was a letter of sponsorship, I believe. So we lived at the ranch for about 13 years. We went to Red Rock Elementary School in Arizona, and then we graduated Santa Cruz Valley Union High School in Eloy. And it was there where my brother had enlisted in the service. I think in his senior year. And my mom didn't know, she didn't have a clue that he had enlisted. And she found out at some gathering, school gathering, everybody was coming up to her and saying, "Oh, I hear your son has enlisted." So of course my mom was shocked. She didn't know what to say or how to take it. And my cousin, the one that lived with us at the ranch, Natividad Acosta, the one, he was going to come with me, he tried to talk my brother out of it. He said that he shouldn't join. But my brother told my mom, no, he wanted to go. He wanted to be, this is where you get, sorry. He wanted to show his appreciation to the United States for, I'm sorry, I thought it was, he wanted to show his appreciation to the United States for being good to his family. So he wanted to go. So he joined. And I think you know the whole story of Vietnam. We buried him in Mexico, in Morelia, because that's where he grew up. And that's where all the family was, and that's where my grandmother was buried. So for about 47 years, she was there. And only until 2016, one of his comrades visited us, and we told him the story, and he talked about the services and Vietnam and my brother and all that. And then I told him one of my concerns that he was over there was that even though the plot where he was buried was perpetual, every year we had to pay fees, annual fees. And if they weren't paid, the remains would be taken out and just tossed aside. So we didn't want that for my brother. So we had thought about bringing him over, but I didn't know what the process was or who to contact or anything like that. But Glenn Hollingsworth, he's the one that we had talked to. He said, well, let me see what I can do, who I can get a hold of. And sure enough, about 2-3 months later, I got a call from Steve Weintraub. And he said he was going to look into it and help, and we were going to do this. And he gave me a name, I think Lourdes Garcia. She was with the Mexican Council or Special Services or something. And she told me how to go about bringing his remains over. So what I thought was going to be a hard process and everything turned out to be really easy. All I had to do was get the place here in Arizona where he was to be interred, and I wanted to be next to my mom, but there was no room, so they suggested, well, why not with her? So great, that was perfect, it worked out good. Then I had to go back to Mexico, and the title was under my mom's name. So since she had passed, it was a little bit harder to get the title transferred over to my name. I had to show she was my mom and he's my brother. And once that was taken care of, everybody was really helpful over there too at the cemetery. They gave me the papers and made sure the process went quickly. And once that was done, we had his body exhumed, cremated, and then brought over here. What I also had to bring was the stone that says, he got the Congressional Medal of Honor. It was really heavy. So my cousin Berta and I came by bus carrying that big old stone across, that we managed to do it. And all I had planned was to do just a simple ceremony, but thanks to Steve, and then Richard Cochran Jr. He was the director of the Hispanic Congressional Medal of Honor. He got everybody together and did this beautiful ceremony, church and the cemetery with planes flying over and the works. So we were able to do that. So he's buried in Glendale, Arizona, with my mom. So I'm sure she's happy with that, because for the longest time, she thought he was going to come back. She never believed he was dead. She thought he was going to come back with the family, but that never happened. Oh, thank you again. Sorry.
Thank you so much for being here today, Ms. Jimenez, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us about you and your family and everything that you've gone through. And I'm again honored to be able to invite to the podium our esteemed Director of USCIS, L. Francis Cisna.
Worried he was going to set up music for me or something, but I'm glad he didn't do that. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's a privilege to be here for the grand opening and dedication of this new immigration office, the Nashville Field Office of USCIS. I, too, would like to thank some people. First, of course, Field Office Director Andrade, the entire Nashville Field Office staff, who I'm going to see later on today, for organizing today's ceremony. I appreciate all the hard work that you've done to get us to this point today. I'd also like to thank Mayor Briley for joining us on this special occasion. It's an honor to have you here, sir, as well as the family of Medal of Honor recipient Jimenez. Thank you for being here today as well. Today, we'll be dedicating to Lance Corporal Jimenez's memory this room, where we will hold naturalization ceremonies for years to come. USCIS recently opened new field offices in other places as well: Montgomery, Alabama, Fort Myers, Florida. I am pleased that we can now add Nashville, Tennessee to this list. New facilities such as this one represent an investment in our workforce and offer opportunities to better manage our operational workload. Every day, employees here in Nashville and throughout USCIS go above and beyond to fairly and lawfully adjudicate immigration applications and petitions while identifying and combating fraud to strengthen the security of our country and the integrity of our immigration system. Your hard work, the hard work of the people who work here and who are going to work here in years to come, is instrumental in safeguarding the legal immigration process. And I am proud to be a part of this team of extraordinary public servants. Indeed, I myself am a product of that system. My own mother came around the same time I think that your mother came. It was a lot easier back then. Today, as we celebrate the opening of this new facility, we also celebrate progress. The new Nashville Field Office allows USCIS to better accommodate those seeking immigration benefits, including those who aspire to become citizens. We are proud to carry on our responsibility to faithfully administer our nation's lawful immigration system. With this first ever full-service field office in Nashville, we can now handle new cases from the middle and eastern parts of the state, including all the form types that require an interview, which is a critical step to ensuring that we adjudicate benefits accurately. Before opening this office, applicants and petitioners, as you heard, from this part of the state had to travel all the way to Memphis or other offices that we had in neighboring states, in many cases a multiple-hour drive. This new location cuts down travel time for many applicants and petitioners, making office visits more convenient and potentially reducing interview no-shows. The facility can also accommodate asylum officers in support of broader agency goals. In other words, we can have asylum officers come here, take an office, and do asylum cases here. The field office has already hosted 7 asylum officers in the few months that it's already been open. USCIS is one of the first interactions that many immigrants have with the federal government, and we want that interaction to be fair, efficient, and respectful. Convenient and modern facilities like this new field office support that goal, and these positive interactions that I expect we will have here build a foundation of trust in government institutions. We look forward to welcoming the next generation of immigrants to the United States here at the Nashville Field Office, and we are honored to dedicate this ceremony room to the memory of Medal of Honor recipient Marine Lance Corporal Jose Francisco Jimenez. As you heard, Lance Corporal Jimenez was born in Mexico in 1946. He came to the United States in 1957. In 1968, he enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps because he loved America and wanted to show his appreciation for the country that gave his family so much. Lance Corporal Jimenez trained in California before being sent to Vietnam as a guide and fire team leader in Company K, 3rd Battalion, 7th Regiment, 1st Marine Division. He was known for his courage, bravery, and dedication to doing the right thing at all times. That included risking his life on multiple occasions during his assignment to the Quang Nam province in the Republic of Vietnam. He was killed in action on August 28, 1969, and was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. An excerpt from the citation, which I think is also reproduced in part in the poster, reads, "For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty while serving as a fire team leader with Company K, 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines, 1st Marine Division, in operations against the enemy in the Republic of Vietnam on 28 August 1969. Lance Corporal Jimenez's indomitable courage, aggressive fighting spirit, and unfaltering devotion to duty upheld the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and of the United States Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life for his country." To the family of Lance Corporal Jimenez, thank you again for being here today. For this dedication, we are truly honored that you will be able to join us. And now to the, I would add to the people who are going to work here, to my colleagues at USCIS, remember what that says. Unfaltering devotion to duty. So, as I said in another office that I opened recently, whenever we dedicate an office to the memory of a person, just like when the Navy dedicates a ship, or it changes the character of the vessel. In this case, it changes the character of in fact, it gives the office character. Up until this moment, this is just a bunch of plaster, but now we're going to give it a spirit. We're going to give it a name of a human being who devoted himself and gave his life for his country. So all of you who are going to work here, remember that and devote yourself with equal passion to the service of our nation. And remember in everything that you do that even in your most routine day-to-day tasks, we're serving the people, just like Lance Corporal Jimenez did. He gave the ultimate sacrifice, but we here every day should do in our own smaller way. We should also manifest the same devotion to country and duty that he did. So I hope that after today's ceremony, his spirit descends upon this building and shares it with you for all the years that you'll be working here too. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Director Cisna, and thank you for being in attendance today, as well as for the touching dedication in which we honored and will continue to honor Lance Corporal Jose Francisco Jimenez. I would also again like to thank Ms. Jimenez. I am pleased that you could join us today, and please relay to the entire Jimenez family a heartfelt thank you from USCIS, not only for your brother who gave the ultimate sacrifice to this country, but their sacrifices as the family members of those who have chosen to serve the United States of America. I would also like to thank the United States Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant Sawyer, who in addition to escorting Ms. Jimenez, donated these items that you see up here to the office so they could stay forever displayed with our poster of Lance Corporal Jimenez. Thank you. I would also like to again thank all of the speakers today, as well as all of you in attendance. We have members from our USCIS family, other DHS partners, our congressional community, our key stakeholders, and the media. All of you play a role in our success, and I'm glad you could all make it today. More specifically, I'd like to thank Regional Director Mark Dolan. Your leadership and guidance has definitely played a role in Nashville's early success. Thank you. Additionally, I'd like to thank the New Orleans district staff, Ms. Ann Hackett, Ms. Terry Jones, Mr. Jim Wasson, and Cindy Gomez. Your support has been instrumental to our success. Cindy, I personally want to take a second to thank you. You allow me to lead. You provide leadership when needed, and most importantly, you've treated me like a colleague and friend, not just a subordinate. I can honestly say that I have grown as a leader since coming to Nashville, and I look forward to our continued successes. I would also like to quickly thank my wife, who was able to attend today. You have meant so much to me over the years, and your willingness to move to Tennessee so that I could open this office means the world to me. I'd also like to thank my beautiful daughter, Kayla, who we lost last year. I know you're looking down on me, and I love you so much. Last but not least, I want to thank the staff of the Nashville field office. You are the heart and soul of this office, and I am proud to be your director. Many of you had to move to Tennessee, which means moving your families, not just yourselves, and I can't thank you enough. Please know that our successes will be attributed to your hard work, and when we do fail, which we will, as we want to be one of those offices that pushes USCIS forward, I will stand up as your director and ensure that we thank you for your attempt to make us better, and I will work tirelessly to see that we correct and move forward together. I would now like to invite everybody outside for our ceremonial ribbon cutting. Before everybody stands, I would like to go over how we're going to make this happen. We will first have Gunnery Sergeant Sawyer escort Ms. Jimenez out of the ceremony room. We will then release everybody row by row. Supervisor Childers and Supervisor Treadaway will be our guides. Please just follow their directions. Once outside, those participating in the ribbon cutting will join everyone. After the ribbon cutting, we'd like to invite everybody back into our lobby for refreshments, light fare, and some cake. Additionally, Ms. Jimenez brought a scrapbook honoring her brother, as well as some pens to honor her brother's memory, which she would love for everybody to take and keep with them. Thank you again, Ms. Jimenez. I want to thank you all again for attending today, and thank you for making Nashville one of, if not the best field offices in USCIS. Thank you very much. All right, everybody, thank you again for attending today, and we can cut on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Do something special with these.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.org.